Want to have your own business but don't want to start from scratch? Franchising might be the answer you're looking for. Welcome to the Level Up with Nick Lopez show. The show that brings you thought leaders in business, franchising, and high-performance personal development. Whether you're a buyer, seller, franchisee, franchisor, or a consultant, find everything you need to know about franchising right here. Own a business without the pain and financial losses that come with creating it. Find the time, freedom, and financial independence you can have through entrepreneurship. Learn how franchising can help you get there. Listen up and get ready for another episode of the Level Up with Nick Lopez show.
Welcome to the Level Up show with Nick Lopez, where we have the absolute pleasure of learning from thought leaders in business, franchising, and high performance personal development. Today, we have a special episode of The People at Lime, and today's guest is known as a franchise Swiss Army knife. She is no secret to franchise operations, support, training, and all things franchising. From the home office at Lime Painting, our franchise business coach, Erica Sicre, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Just transitioning here into some fall weather. I know it's different all across the country, but as a painter, all of a sudden, the weather starts to matter.
It does, yeah.
Anyways, I want to jump into our conversation. We have a lot of great things to cover, and I am excited to just share your heart, your passion, your posture toward supporting franchise owners and providing world-class service. And that's something that you've been doing for well over a decade in all sorts of different roles, which we will dive into. But without further ado, my first question for you, Erica Sicre, is how did you fall into lime painting?
Yeah, that's a great question, considering a majority of my career was spent in the beauty space. So why lime? Why painting? I genuinely was looking for a new home. That's how this happened. I was looking for a place where I could be challenged, a place where there was passion, a place where I knew I could just add value to and be a part of a family, the bigger picture. So I don't want to say unhappy, but I definitely was in an organization where the boxes just weren't checked off for me. So I was on a mission to find an organization that would. So I wasn't in a rush by any means. I took, honestly, at least 6 months of nightly, like before bed, getting on Indeed and just kind of filtering through opportunities and seeing what was out there. I would apply every once in a while to something that maybe stood out to me. But frankly, there wasn't anything that I was excited about. I even took a few job offers, I was extended a few job offers and I did not take them. And I finally came across Lime. And I remember reading the position, first of all. The title was super enticing because it's all encompassing as far as my experience goes. And I read the job description and I said, wow, that's me. Like, check, me. Yep, 100% that's me. And I was super excited because I felt like it was calling to my skill set. And the company just seemed super organized, and I could tell it was in a growth phase because you were seeking a franchise business coach, which typically indicates in a franchise that they're ready to expand and support franchisees because there's probably not enough support in the system because they grew too much, right? So now we need coaches. So that was a good sign to me. So long story short, I applied. I'm here and I'm super grateful.
So, you mentioned that you're going through these different opportunities, and clearly there was a reason to make a move outside of the health and wellness, just general fitness space. And, a lot of folks watching this are familiar with that change of season. And so, I'm just wanting to set the stage for folks watching that, Erica was just in that position months ago. And so that's a very exciting time when you're intentional about it. And so, Erica, what was it? I know you mentioned some highlights there, but what made line painting appealing, if you could summarize it?
Sure. I could see the strong organization and the intent even from the job ad. I knew this company was put together. I could feel it just by reading the job description.
Yeah, a company that's put together. What do you mean by that?
So first of all, the intention, again, I could literally see that in the job description. I am from a recruitment space as well, right? I've always recruited leadership. So I know what it takes to write a job ad. So I felt as I was reading it that the people in charge, which lo and behold were you and Johnny, wanted to find someone that was well suited for their company, which showed me that you cared about the franchisees. You were very specific and intentional. The recruitment process alone was super organized, and I've interviewed other people. I mean, I'd be willing to say I've at least interviewed 750 people, if I were to be completely honest. And I've also been interviewed at many companies. So I could just see the recruitment process with the questionnaire and the questions that you asked in it. The first interview, how that went. The second interview, how that went. And I loved the essay at the end. I thought that was unique. I had not seen that or facilitated that in an interview before. So like the recruitment process is showing me these people care. They're super organized. They were timely. The interviews were very professional, yet I felt really comfortable. And it starts from the top. So if this is coming from our CEO and our VP, then everyone else underneath must be of that caliber. And that's where I want to be, on a team of that caliber.
Yeah, I think it gets a lot better. So it's only up from here. Thank you for that perspective. And, I think a lot of that is reciprocated. But, transitioning here, moving on, what makes the home improvement space a hot market and something that you're interested in pursuing?
Yeah. Everyone lives in a home. Let's start there. Everyone right now is either buying a home or trying to buy a home. And once you do that, what comes next? Home improvement. So to me, that's a great situation, right? You have a product or a service that people want. Also, I saw it firsthand. My father, he's a painter. You know this, but now other people do too. He's a painter. And so I saw how busy he was during the pandemic. It was crazy. There was people at home, they're looking around, they're noticing more things because they have the time. They have the time to call someone and get these things done. So I thought to myself, wow, this is great. This is like pandemic proof. So what kind of business can actually say they survived the pandemic or thrived in it? Not many. So that's why it's hot. I just think it's always going to be around. And especially when you have that custom home niche, that group of people, they care about their homes, and they have the means to take care of their homes. That market is just untapped. So that's why Todd.
Yeah, it's pretty neat to join an organization where you're literally making history by being the first and only luxury painting company. That's exactly what we're doing. We're defining the customer experience from a custom property ownership standpoint. And that is exciting, that we're pioneering. We're making our mark on the home improvement timeline of history.
Right. It's pretty cool.
From the point when from the point at which lime painting started, history in the home improvement space changed. We began standardizing the luxury experience. There's a ripple effect within the industry. We're doing it nationally. We're making our mark on history. Plenty to be said there, but wanting to transition here and talk about a lot of where you've spent your career, which is scaling franchises. So from your perspective, what does it take to scale a franchise?
Yeah. I mean, we could get pretty granular if we wanted to, but I think the main thing or things would be vision and strategy. But the most important part would be commitment to both. I've just seen even small businesses without vision and without strategy. And I could tell you how it ended. I see that Lime has both things, the vision and the strategy. And from what I could see, commitment 2024, yes, that's going to be us. So that's what it takes. And we've got the recipe, and it seems like we're about to bake something really tasty.
What does collaboration, how do you see that influencing what you just talked about? There's vision, there's strategy, there's executing on that process. How does collaboration play a part?
Yeah. Collaboration, I mean, that's a part of the strategy. I mean, that is why people get into franchising. There is collaboration, right? You got home office support, you've got franchise to franchise support, you have co-ops, you have high-level support. That is why people buy a business in a box. So collaboration is everything. It's community. It's not just support in the sense of business operations, but sometimes just, personally, it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard being an entrepreneur. And sometimes you need to phone a friend. And that is what collaboration's about, is being able to phone a friend about anything. And that's what you get in a franchise, is that whole network. So, yeah, I mean, collaboration's part of the strategy.
Yeah, I mean, success is 1,000% dependent on a franchise owner and their ability to step into being an entrepreneur. Clearly, franchise provides a platform. You speed forward in terms of figuring out the model. There's a brand in place, there's technology in place, there's marketing in place, there's support and training and this community. But at the end of the day, a great franchise owner can crush it with a bad system, bad marketing, XYZ, or crush it with a good platform, that operator is going to adapt and adjust to whatever that platform is. At the end of the day, business ownership is business ownership. And so, I just wanted to make that note that entrepreneurship is, unless you have partners, it's you with a scoreboard, and that scoreboard is your P&L. Nobody will come and save you. It is 1000% your responsibility to set up your team, your business, to realize whatever you put into a business plan, right? You have a pro forma, and you manage that quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily with a team, and it's objective. And you have to be consistent and disciplined, or have the folks in place that are properly incentivized to ensure that that behavior is in your business if you're not the one directly running your business. It makes no sense whatsoever to think that your business will scale just because you have a business.
Right.
You have to have the strategy mapped out with the people in place and the behavior inputted to get the outcome. And you can objectively measure that behavior and tweak it so that you improve the behavior if you want to improve the outcome.
Right.
But if you're doing the right behavior and your team is complementing that behavior, it's that simple. That's the formula. That's the playbook. We paint homes. So there's a certain way of going about doing that on a sales side and an operations side. But executing within your business is 1000%, as an entrepreneur, your objective. Find the team, build the team, or you're doing it, or there's a hybrid.
Right.
And so, there's so many different parts that go into scaling. I want to transition here and talk about some keys to profitability.
Yeah. Well, in general, I think people overcomplicate this. Profitability is higher revenue, right? So more sales and lower costs. I mean, that's really it. So how do you get there? And that's where strategy comes into play. You hire high performance people who are going to execute the systems. Well, first of all, learn the system, then execute the system. Are they really knocking on those doors? Are they following up? Are they using respin? Are they following the system? Because that's half the battle, is finding those people that are committed to executing the system. If they do that, then it will yield more leads, more sales, right? More revenue. So it's going to help your bottom line. But in the same regard, you also have to be mindful of your costs. How much is going out? How many people do you have on staff? What is your pay structure? How many extra platforms do you have, outside of what we recommend that you pay for monthly? What kind of vehicle are you driving, right? These things all go hand in hand. So it's just going to be that formula: higher revenue and just less cost. So that's it. It's not a lot to it.
Yeah, and you should understand your break even, right? Where does revenue pass expenses? Where's that break even?
Right, exactly. And having that scoreboard, not just sometimes, but daily, an obsession. I worked with a personal trainer who, man, he was incredible for just being an independent personal trainer. Every day on his own, he would get up in the morning and update how many leads he had, how many appointments he had, his conversion. I mean, this is just a independent personal trainer, but he was all about the scoreboard, and that just really imprinted. That's how I operate as well. So if you don't know how close you are to your break even, or you don't know what your revenue goal is and how to get there, well, I mean, I'll help you. We need to know those numbers so you can, be profitable. No one goes into business to not be profitable. And no one even goes into business to break even, right? We're here for the green. Not that it's all about money, but no one is doing it for free. It's not, volunteer work. This is your livelihood.
It matters. And that's why commitments and keeping those commitments is so paramount, because there are implications as an entrepreneur. You can have some wonderful implications and you can have some negative implications. But as a business owner, we control the implications. That's the beautiful part of the investment vehicle that is a franchise, is that you directly influence the outcome. And so if you know that your break even is X amount of projects sold, well, what is your close rate? And if it's 30% or a third, triple that amount. And you need 150 proposals to break even with 50 projects.
Right.
And if your average ticket is 12 grand, then you can expect to sell just about 600K. That is specificity. And you can break that down to a weekly average of how many proposals do I need to give every week? That's the only number that matters. Did we do our 3 proposals this week or not? If you need to do 150 and there's 52 weeks, call it 50, 3 proposals a week. Are you capable of training one person to do 3 proposals a week and close 1? If not, this is where humility is so powerful. You can look yourself in the mirror, you can compare objective numbers, benchmark, and see that, hey, it's pretty black and white. I'm a third of the average across the system. This is an area I need to get better. Humility is powerful because we can put our ego aside and say, all right, let me lean in on this and level up this benchmark, this score, this metric that is interfering with me getting to my goals. But having that focus daily keeps it top of mind. And you solve one opportunity or issue, however you look at it, then you solve the next one. And that is mastery within the business, knowing the levers to pull. And eventually it just becomes, different actors going and playing the same plots, just different seasons, right? It's like,
you become a better director.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You better understand your consumer. You better understand your team. You better understand the metrics. You better understand the seasonality. And it's just plug and play, consistency, and discipline. That's where you really benefit from the compounding power of behavior, right? Behavior equals outcome. When you get really good at the behavior, you just maximize the time and you do the behavior at the most prone times. And there's nothing else you can do to maximize your outcome besides add more folks to do more behavior in those timeframes. Right. But the business is the business. But moving on here, how does Lime set up franchise partners to be successful?
Yeah. So from what I could see in 5 weeks with the company, you guys do, or let's say we do a good job at everything from vetting the franchisees or the candidates all the way through onboarding, support, having the knowledge base accessible to them and all those platforms, from ClickUp to Leah to Client Tether or a CRM, transparency, accessibility to personnel. I mean, the list is long. What I love the most, though, and maybe franchisees don't know this, but what I'm hearing on the calls every week, the home office calls, is who needs help? What's going on with them? How can we help them? It's about the people. It's not even about the numbers or the systems. It's who. And that ultimately is so powerful in any business, to have people truly invested in the people. So I would say that's honestly the biggest contributor to the support I'm seeing at Lime.
Yeah, that is key. It is paramount. We talked about collaboration and that really being the heartbeat of an organization. Something that you've talked about, Erica, is, once everybody is united, can you finish that statement?
Yeah, I mean, that's how you move the needle. Once the network is unified, I think is what I said. That's when the needle really moves. So, I mean, it would be like a team, a sports team, and your captain maybe has one eye on the road and the other one off to the side. That's who's leading you. No, we all have to be unified. The captain, and everyone on the team has to do their part. They have to do their part in order to win the game, in order to win, the tournament, the series, or whatever you're talking about. Everyone has to pull their weight. That's how you win.
Yeah, everybody has to be committed to the process, the off-season workouts, and not saying, hey, this off-season workout is wrong because of this or that, or it could be tweaked here or there. It's like, this is the off-season resume. That's it. It's just, let's just execute the off-season, prepare for the season. We're all committed to the season. We're being disciplined with our lifestyle, what we eat, how we plan our days, how we show up, where our state of mind is, where our posture is, and those daily numbers, the scorecard. It is top of mind. And if you're building a team and scaling, you have to invest from this standpoint for a couple years, a few years, with folks that are empowered, appropriately incentivized, and capable of managing the location and doing the behavior.
Yeah, it's the behavior for everyone.
Yeah, and you get better as an owner.
Business, you have to actually change your behavior. And I look at franchising a lot like weight loss or fitness. Just because you sign up for a gym or buy a franchise doesn't mean you're going to be in the best shape of your life. It's the whole program, right? You have to wake up and do your fasted cardio, let's say, and eat your meals every 3 hours and drink a gallon of water a day and go to the gym and hire a trainer and invest. And there's going to be days you don't feel like doing it. And there's going to be days that you feel like you've not, made any progress. There's going to be days where you feel like you kick butt and weeks where you like dropped a ton of weight and then you're going to gain weight back. And it's just this constant system that you have to execute and stay committed to, even during those weeks that you don't feel like doing it. You got to do it. That's just what it is. And franchising is that simple. We overcomplicate it. Execute the system and also rely on your team. When you're losing weight, it's not typically just you, right? You have your trainer. Maybe you sign up for a gym like F45. So there's the community and there's these little contests and these, the little motivational texts from your group. So that's the network. That is the Lime network, right? It's like, we are here, but you do have to put in the work. You don't get your dream body by just eating a donut every, morning and then wondering why you're not losing weight.
Yeah, you buy the gym membership and you never show up.
Right.
But you're a member.
Show up. Right. And you're paying for it. So don't you want to maximize that?
It's funny how, you do just that. You pay for it. You buy the gym membership and you never show up.
Right. Right.
That is unfortunate.
I've been there.
Yeah, that's the power of discipline and commitment. It's really an unfortunate thing to, as an owner, as a franchise owner, to be paralyzed to do what you said, which is, it's very simple. You just execute the business model.
You just have
so many times you want to pontificate. You want, maybe even you want to gossip and tug on somebody's ear, but it's all just thinking and talking. There's no behavior.
Right. But
all this talking is justifying, well, this doesn't work. Well, that doesn't work. Well, this isn't there. And they didn't do that. And they, and you,
right.
you.
Right.
But the reality is, it's only hurting you. It's your business. It's your investment. And so the best thing you can do is take action on the simple concept of the business model works. Just do the business.
Right. Right.
Just execute the business and results will get there. And if not, you're going to be crippled in fear because there's a timer. You're not doing the behavior. You're not doing the work, but cash flow is not unlimited. And that window is compressing and compressing and compressing. And you're in fear watching it compress, but you're not doing the behavior.
Right. We have to break past that. A lot of it is just mental, right? It's your energy too. If you're operating on this frequency of scarcity and just trying to find reasons why something's not working out. And I truly feel like this is applicable in all aspects of life, not just business. You're just looking for what can I point my finger at? You're wasting your time on that instead of how can I change my behavior? What is it going to take? Well, I need to be in bed by this time. I need to get up by this time so I can be knocking on doors by this time and getting leads. And I want to have a deadline by this time to be back and do my admin. Planning out your day. It's not just a matter of, well, I'll get in the gym when I can. It's I'm going to be in the gym at this time. It's holding yourself accountable to that. So I personally think a lot of times we just have to break through our own mindset, change our mindset, work on that, change your routine, which will change your behavior, which will then yield results. That's it.
Yeah, not point the finger and justify why it's okay to not do that behavior, to do that work.
Right.
Culturally being united, I think about my kids' practice where, the coaches are teaching the kids how to encourage one another. And they're saying, hey, as you're watching your teammates make mistakes, instead of pointing and laughing, help them and coach them through it and encourage them. In business, that is in love, but sometimes tough love. And I love what you say, Erica. You have to take folks to places that they may not want to be, but they need to be there. That's a great teammate. And so, when you talk about united as an organization, it's saying, look, anything less than encouraging my fellow entrepreneurs is poison. That is a strong culture. That is a united culture because we're all in this together. There's no you versus you and them and us and we, and it's one organization. So I want to shift here, move on. Erica, how do you ensure that franchise partners launch successfully and have the tools, resources, and support to be successful?
Yeah, I think for me personally, and you're asking this like as far as a franchise business coach, Nick?
Absolutely.
It's really getting to know the people. And I keep talking about the people, but it's just who I am. I'm authentically a lover of people. So getting to know the franchisees, building a relationship with them, establishing that trust. I said it in our interview last week, but just getting real. Like, what is stopping you from being your best? How can I help you? And then utilizing all the resources and tools that are accessible, that we have available to them, and speaking to those areas that need improvement. So knowing that you need help with respin, then I'm going to role play with you. I'm going to make sure you have the scripts. I'm going to make sure everyone on your team has the scripts. I'm going to quiz you. I'm going to hold you accountable to that, because that's what coaches do. You know, you look at any coach, and I always refer to sports because I think this position's rather unique for business to call someone a coach, but everyone knows what a sports coach is. You know, a coach is going to make sure you're practicing and that you're on time to practice in uniform, right? And if not, they make you run suicides. I'm not going to make you run suicides, but they hold you accountable, right? There is a standard. They're going to review your video footage after a game. They're going to highlight areas where you kick butt. And then you're going to also highlight areas where, hey, what happened here? What could we have done better? How do we reinforce that weakness? How do we win the next game? So for me to be a good coach, I'm going to have to learn essentially these franchisees, also build that rapport and be able to analyze them in such a way that I know what they need help with, even when they may not see that's where they need help. I remember in basketball, oh my God, I always had to run suicides to practice my speed because I was so short. And I always wondered, like, why do I have to run all the time? I'm always sprinting. Well, because I was 5'3". Like, that's why I had to win with speed. So my coach could see that, right? Like, that's how you're going to win is speed. It's not going to be by blocking anything. You're going to have to get down there faster than everyone else. So that's what a good coach does. And that's what I plan on doing for franchisees if they allow me to.
Yeah, helping folks be successful by one-on-one communicating the business plan, which is objective, the Lime Way, which is objective, and being objective through numbers, through KPIs, where, hey, look, here's the benchmark. This is an opportunity, whatever it is, X, Y, Z for you. We're gonna work together here to capitalize on this, because my goodness, you're crushing so many different aspects of your business. And here's where there's a bottleneck going on. Once we clear this out, there's going to be a lot of momentum that comes as a result, because you have a lot of these other things in place. Like, those are amazing epiphanies as a coach, where you can pull folks out of the forest and say, look, here is the forest from a bird's eye view. Just, right. Hey, tug you out here again, give you a reminder of the bird's eye view. Okay, now we can dive back in with more clarity and get into the weeds again. But yes, most certainly that one-on-one, it is going to be a huge level up in driving profitability, support, and raising the standard. You talked about standard. It's fun to win. 2024 is teed up to be a huge year, a lot of winning. And I want to move on here and ask you a question about responsible franchising. What does that look like?
Yeah, so responsible franchising. Well, it's two words, right? Responsible. That means having an obligation to, having care of. It means control of in some cases, right? That's the word responsible. And then franchising, which is the business and the system. So responsible franchising is exactly that, is our commitment as home office, as leaders, as owners, our commitment to executing the business and the system. That is responsible franchising, is following the model, right? The rules of the game so you can win. If we want to get more specific, there's a lot of details that go into that, right? Timeliness, financial responsibility, vision, strategy, leadership, accountability. It's all the things, but most importantly, it's that commitment from home office, that responsibility that we have over the franchise. So being professional and having integrity, that's what I think.
Yeah, integrity. So what does integrity on the home office look like?
Yeah, it's exactly what integrity means, doing what you said you were going to do. If we said, hey, let me look into that for you, I will get back to you on that you do that. It's proving to the franchisees that we are super invested. This is our world, our life. So integrity is proving that, living that, not just walking the walk. It's all of it. It's sprinting the sprint. It's backstroking the backstroke. We have to live and breathe it every day and show the franchisees the Lime way. That's our responsibility.
Yeah, our responsibility to serve our customer. We have one customer and we serve that customer together as a home office, as franchise partners. You just spoke to integrity on the home office side. What does integrity look like on the franchise partner side?
It's so easy to say things when you're in the field, like, yeah, I'm doing that, right? You could tell your franchise group, yes, I'm doing that. Yes, I'm doing that. So integrity means, from a franchisee perspective, that you really are doing that. How many doors are you really knocking on? How many leads did you really get? How many meetings are you conducting weekly with your team, and what are you covering in them? Is there intention? Is there planning behind your meetings? Is your sales team, are they aware of where you're at? Are you breaking even? Are you close to your annual goal? What percentage of your goal have you attained? That's integrity, is making sure that you're actually doing all of the things in the field, right? It's so easy to say, but I did try that and I am, right? But what did it sound like? What did it look like? Are you really committed to the system with your team? We can't be there every day. We can't talk to you 24/7. We can't hear every door pitch. So integrity is doing it when we're not around, and when you say that you did it, that you really did it.
Yeah, it's your business.
Right.
So the score only matters to one person.
Right, yourself.
So by cutting those corners, you're breaking your confidence, right? The more disciplined you are and you fulfill commitments to yourself, the more confident you get, because you gain results from your behavior. And you knew what it took, what sort of commitment and discipline it required to be consistent about that behavior and reiterating that behavior up front when you're learning it. You're not going to hit a home run your first swing. You need to take like 1,000 swings, and there's so many granular aspects of the swing,
right,
until it's fully honed in. Sure, you're going to get results 200 swings in, and it's only going to get better as you get toward that 1,000, and you may bring on other folks to teach them the swing at the 600th swing. But it's that commitment to the process and understanding that there are iterations and pivots, but being totally committed to the process. That's the secret sauce. And that is exciting because that is doable.
Right.
That's obtainable. There's no rocket science in painting high-end homes. It's a pretty simple business. So, Erica, what does world-class service from a franchise business coach, what does that look like?
I feel like I keep hitting on the same terms, but it really is true for me. So, I'll start with professionalism. Number one, that's what world-class service looks like. So professionalism means that us as coaches, teachers, leaders, that we know the system inside and out. We can't just kind of know it. We have to understand every system, the why behind it. So that level of professionalism. Also, integrity, again, executing the systems, even when no one else is watching, doing the pitch 100%, even when no one's, again, watching. So that integrity, us getting back to franchisees in a timely manner because we said we would. It looks like that. It looks like accountability. I don't know any successful person in my life, or even on social media life, all these great speakers and just role models that don't actually do all of these things without accountability. And that might be accountability with yourself, right? Wake up time, diet, exercise, reading, whatever you're holding yourself accountable to, or someone else holding them accountable to it, right? A lot of these people got great because they were students. And being a student means that someone might give you homework from time to time. You might have to write an essay. You might have to do some work, and someone's going to hold you accountable. So accountability is world-class, and commitment to these things. So professionalism, to recap, we have accountability. We have the commitment to those things. So that's what world-class looks like.
Yeah, those are all world-class commitments from a business coach perspective. And it isn't rocket science. Again, you said, hey, I've mentioned these things in different iterations. It is so true. So many common themes here in what execution looks like. I always say that business is the ultimate personal development course because it is constantly showing you, the version of yourself that you need to become. And, having that mirror and that humility will constantly allow you to make those tweaks, level up, and get better over time. This is a process that requires a lot of grace, a lot of mercy, a lot of love, and centered with intent that is themed by integrity toward the partnership and the commitments and everything that we discussed. It is a partnership, and once we are united,
that's when the needle moves.
That is a powerful cheat code within a franchise organization that requires trust, having each other's backs, and being uber committed to the process. And that is everybody rowing in stride. It isn't, hey, this is broke, ditch that. It's, hey, how do we lean in on this, make it better, fill gaps? Because if we are ditching our own process, we are literally sabotaging our own investment, our own business, and the shared partnership and the integrity toward serving our customers and making history in the luxury home improvement space. We are also on a mission, to do $1 billion in system-wide revenue in a decade from now. We must think bigger. It will require us thinking bigger and being united and operating in trust. So, Erica, I want to wrap up. What are the Lime values of Get Limed, the full acronym, not just the Lime acronym?
Okay.
Oh, I wonder how many of you out there know the full Get Limed values. So, Erica, I'm going to ask you to rattle those off.
This is good.
And then share your favorite one.
Okay. So, gratitude, enthusiasm, tenacity, love, integrity, mission, excellence, discipline. Right? Get limed.
Boom. That is it.
It's a lot of words. It's a lot of words.
It's a lot.
Okay, so I also said this in the interview last week. I'm consistent, if you can see that. I believe I have these core values in myself, so I'm not going to stray from them. It's love. Love for sure is my favorite value. It's just what makes us human. Love is passion, right? You have to love what you do. Life is more enjoyable when you're doing things out of love. That frequency is just so high. It makes you just a better person. It also gives you just like something to work toward, right? Like if you love your family, you're going to go really hard at work and make sure that you could provide for them, right? If you love yourself and you invested your 401k into this franchise, you owe it to yourself. You love yourself, you want to be successful, right? So love is a driver and love is what makes us human. And I genuinely believe that if you do things out of love, that it was the right thing.
That is the most powerful emotion known to man. Lean into it. It'll change your life. But more importantly, it'll change the people around you and their lives. If you are a light, a beacon of love in their life, the people you serve, the customers, the employees, the artisans, the home office, your fellow franchise partners, and your franchise business coach, Erica Sicre. So lead in love. You heard it from Erica, her favorite value. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to this episode. I know it was most certainly educational for me. I leveled up having this discussion with Erica, and I look forward to seeing the massive wins that she helps franchise partners tackle and accomplish and knock out of the park. This is a partnership, and it is rooted in trust and lived out through our core values. Please subscribe to the show. It's how we grow. It's how we can continue to bring on great thought leaders and share this invaluable content. Like the video, but more importantly, drop a comment down below and contribute to the conversation. Erica, if anybody out there wants to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, certainly you can follow me on my professional network, LinkedIn, Erica Sicre. You could see my name, I'm sure, below. And also feel free to shoot me an email, esicre@limepainting.com.
You heard it from Erica. Thanks again for tuning in. And as always, level up.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Level Up with Nick Lopez show. Remember, it's never too late to get started on your entrepreneurial journey. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed today's segment. Catch us again next week and visit limepainting.com for more of the Level Up with Nick Lopez show.